Okay, test ride number 2 from here at the TdU. Von, what have you picked up today for your test ride first thing tomorrow morning?
First thing tomorrow morning, I will be rolling out on the Canyon Endurace WMN CF SL Disc 8.0 Aero Di2.
Did you have to read that? Because that's a very long, it's actually on the top tube, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, look, like we did with the other bike, can we go top to bottom of the specifications of this bike to show everyone what it's about off the shelf? And then tomorrow we'll come back after you've ridden the bike and just have a chat about what you think about it. Are you up for the challenge again for review number 2?
Yes, this one should be a little bit easier.
Okay. Okay, Von, take us for an overview of the bike top to bottom with what it's all about.
Okay, so I guess the first things first are the things that are mine on the bike that don't come stock. So the pedals are mine, the saddle I've swapped out for my Specialized one. It comes with a physique saddle. Also the Garmin is obviously mine. There's a custom Garmin mount for the integrated handlebars here, so you can see that it does fit with the Garmin 1030. But that's about it. You can choose your own bottle cages and you're good to go.
This looks very familiar to my giant TCR. Is that a Shimano Ultegra 8070 group set?
This is Ultegra, Hydro Disc Shimano Di2. So yes, the same specification that you just said.
Okay, so I think it's the 8050 group set, but it turns it into an 8070 with the hydro levers on the front.
Yeah.
You also have a long cage rear derailleur on the back there.
Yeah, check it out.
One thing is a little different. Okay, so this bike itself isn't the Aero, it's not the other race one. This is more the, I'd call it a half gravelly, or maybe a, what would you call it?
Yeah, it's got a 34 on the back with a compact and 28mm tyres with it, so it's ready to go out there.
Okay, so more relaxed geometry for the women's setup. That's what they've told us?
No, this is with the Endurace version. So if I was on the other style of bike that they've got, the...
there's the Aero, there's the...
Yeah, the Aero is completely different. So when I had this side-by-side next to my Specialized, the whole bottom bracket was centimetres lower. So the actual bike is lower to the ground in the way that they've got this whole section of the bike geometry set up. So completely different in that. The other thing that will be completely different in the feel and the setup of it will be the split seat post. So that comes standard with it.
Okay, so 2 separate pieces of carbon that are connected top and bottom. And because of that, the Di2 battery has to be down in here somewhere. Let's have a look at it.
If I pick up the bike without hitting the camera, if I pick up the bike, you should be able to see here where...
So the Di2 battery's hidden in there because of the certain seat post style they have. And while we're here, have a quick look at these 28mm tyres. That's
some fat.
That's some fatness.
You can also look at the clearance there that you've still got with the 28mm tyre on the fork and the rear.
And while we have the bike flipped up like this, I can see the older style junction box here, or the external junction box.
Yes, for charging.
For the Shimano. Okay, so it's all hidden neatly under there.
Yeah.
Rightio. Let's have a little clearance in the tyres, because you said it had 28 mils. Let's have a look at the front for the clearance.
So you could definitely go wider on that.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot of space there.
Yeah. It's more of a gravel adventure bike, I see it as.
Right. And up the back here, because there's no caliper.
You got tons at the top, and you can see even on the bottom.
Okay, that's like finger for scale.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a test bike. It's been ridden today. There's still a good ½ centimetre of clearance on both sides, so you could go a bit fatter.
Okay, yeah, so it does have a little bit of scuff marks on it, but it has been out riding. We were lucky to get the S5, I think, brand spanking new. Right, this all looks pretty good. Okay, so top to bottom, we have a full carbon frame. We have Ultegra Di2, latest version, compact crank on the front. We have a 34 up the back with a long cage rear derailleur, hydro discs. We have the mount, which is an optional accessory on the Canyon website. We're not doing a sales pitch, but just FYI.
Just what you would have to purchase in addition.
Yeah, we have some fatties. As a roadie, I'd call these fatties tyres.
Yeah, and that will affect the road feel as well when you're riding along with that wider on it.
Wheel wise, it comes with some Reynolds Assault LEs with tubes. I think shipping tubeless is going to be, well, could be troublesome, I guess. And Von, can you give us the sound test of the rear hub ratchet? Oh.
Still a machine gun.
I was going to say thoughts on that, but okay. Machine gun style. Okay, so no firing bullets tomorrow in the bunch when you go out and ride this beast.
There's also something special about the through axles that I want to show you as well. So with this side, you can also see that there is no lever to take the front wheel off.
Uh-oh. So how do we take the front wheel off?
However, the rear axle does have a lever on it that is detachable, and it has a 6mm Allen key in it that can be used for either of the wheels.
How easy is it to take out, Von? Can I get you to try it with your, I can't say girly hands because we determined that in the last video, your strengthy hands. Are you able to pull that out? Given this is a women's bike.
Let me give it a shot.
All right.
I haven't actually tried this. I'm assuming that there is a... They didn't actually show me what the technique was. Do I turn it? Do I pull it?
You've got to pull it straight out first. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No, this is going nowhere. Oh, wait, no, it's moving. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's an actual technique to it.
Okay, so you figured it out?
Yeah.
It's women friendly?
Yeah.
Okay, can you pull out and show? That's a 6mm Allen key, which then can be used to, well, either on the front hub to remove that wheel if needed, or I guess you could pull that out and leave it at home if you want to have secure wheels on your bike and not have, cool. Okay, I haven't seen that before.
Something different again.
Detachable axle?
Yeah, I mean, you could also keep it in your saddlebag as well. If you just wanted like clean lines, you can leave it in your saddlebag.
Mad aero gains.
In terms of the handlebars in the cockpit, you can see it's integrated, so it's all one piece through here.
Okay, so you're going to have to get your fit quite right from the factory or make sure that your specifications are right. Now the guys on the shop floor there at the Rafa store also did some customization to your levers to make sure they squished in just right. So Yvonne, how are they feeling now?
Yeah, they're feeling good.
I'll throw in the footage here, what they did to do the modification, and I will cover this in a future video on Di2, but there were some modifications made for Von's preference for the braking and the squishiness of the levers.
Okay, so one thing that they did point out that was different around the cockpit area was that there is a lock ring piece on this bottom section that you can get different ones of adjustable height. This piece is separate to the actual handlebar, and so it's under tension, and it's not going to be compromised by this if you need to adjust the stack height.
We've had that before. When you take off your bars, the whole thing comes off, your fork will fall out. So that keeps everything nice and secure in transit. That's pretty cool. I've not seen that before. So I count two new things I haven't seen before on this bike, Von. That's the through axle rear adaptery 6mm hex wrench that comes out, which makes things secure, and that little headset security thing there as well to keep everything
Have you seen a split seat post before?
Split seat post, no, but I'm going to skip over that. It's not really cool tech. It looks kind of like a banana peel, but anyhow.
I'll let you know how it rides tomorrow.
We'll see how we go. No slipping. Recommended retail, we'll cover that straight away because it's on the top tube.
It says 6,099.
6,099.
So
that's
half
not bad.
price
That's
of the other bike.
That's in Aussie dollars as well. That's indicative pricing. Go to the website for full details and full accessories.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like the colour. It's almost blue. Okay, Von, we'll leave it there for now. That's top to bottom of the, can you read it out for me again, please?
Endurace WMN CF SL Disc 8.0 Aero Di2
bike. And we're familiar with the group set, so we won't get too close up on that. That's all the same as on the Giant. I'm really keen to see your experience riding Di2 Hydro because you have tried ETAP SRAM Hydro. And we'll come back tomorrow after your ride. You're out for a bunch ride tomorrow?
Yes.
Excellent. We'll come back and we'll get your very famous now, Von's rating out of 10 of a brand new bike. Okay, thanks Von, enjoy the ride.
Should be fun, thanks. We're headed up to Lofty. Hopefully I've got enough time to make it, or I have to return this bike.
Okay, so we are 2 days later. Von, you rode the Canyon bike yesterday, but I thought we'd wait to have a chat about it as we do our small llama drives out here to the final stage of Tour Down Under. So I have a list of questions that I've written down because I'm driving. Do you want to go through your take on the... Hang on, what was the bike again? It was the...
Canyon Endurace WMN CF SL Disc 8.0 Aero Di2.
Right. Rock and roll.
I can't guarantee that was in the same order that was written on the bike.
Alrighty, so questions that I've written down there?
Okay, so how was the ride feel and the bike fit?
Yes. So just overall, just give us a general overall picture before we dive into the specifics.
So overall, I think you need to remember that this is not a racing style bike. Mm-hmm. It's more of a open road, touring style gravel grinder bike.
Yep.
So the fit and geometry is completely different to my road bike. I would probably do a bit more customization to it if I was going to use it for more than one day, or half a day in the case that I rode it.
They did spend some time doing your fit up though in the at the Rafa pop-up store where Canyon were located. So I saw them measure your seat post about 5 or 6 times to make sure it was spot on. Before and after the saddle, they did put your saddle on, but I guess there was a few limitations in the geometry of the bike though, as you were saying.
That's what they were struggling with, was to transfer over the race feel, well my current race setup
of the tarmac,
the Endurace ride. So yeah, I had a little bit of palm and pins and needles in my hand, so I would adjust it if I was going to ride it for a different kind of duration or for a real ride out there. So
bars are almost three-dimensional, well they actually are three-dimensional in, so you've got width, you've got length of bars and reach, and you've also got where the levers are positioned as well for your hand, so that can be, it can take a little while to get that dialed in, but okay, cool.
But, and these are also really wide bars as well, so
there are a bit of bus driving happening there. So overall, that aside, how did it go?
Yeah, it actually felt pretty good on the road. I mean, I wasn't the freshest out there, so I felt like the bike was quite heavy, but that might have been my heavy legs at the same point in time. And I was doing a lot of climbing with it too, because I wanted to see how the disc brakes descended and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed riding it. It was nice. Yeah, I can see why people find it a popular bike.
Alrighty, now I just had a peek look at the questions there. Sorry, I've just remembered them because I am driving. Now you've now ridden SRAM ETAP Hydro.
Yes.
And Shimano Di2 Hydro disc brakes.
Yes.
These this bike came with 160mm rotors, so they're a little bit bigger than the rotors I've got on the giant TCR behind me here in the back. Your bike's on the roof, we just 3 bikes in there. Anyway, that's where my bike is at the moment as we head out. So the bike I've got behind me now is 140 rotors.
Why? Why do they have different rotor sizes?
I don't actually know, to be honest. Well, obviously, the bigger the rotor size, the more braking power you'll have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With my race bike only having 140s, it's got enough stopping power. So I'm not quite sure why something like the Amonda SLCF Women 8.2.0 Di2.
Amonda is trick.
Oops. That bike has larger rotors. Anyway, just that aside, long lead into the question. One or the other, or much the same for hydro brakes?
I'll talk about the brakes separately, but yeah, I felt like the brakes were very similar. It also comes down into like what the levers are like and how that's configured as well. So we did do, as we mentioned earlier, I got them to adjust them a little bit because the way that they had them set up, as soon as you were, say, in the drops and either 1 finger braking or 2 finger braking, apparently with hydro you need to only do 1 finger braking, you're going to hit your knuckles in the drops. So I got them to adjust it so that they were sitting out a little bit more. I can understand that maybe some people have smaller hands, so they could have them in a bit closer for reach. But in terms of the use and modulation of disc brakes, I love it. I'm sold on the concept of disc brakes. I really like it. I mean, I'm a pretty confident descender anyway.
Yep.
But just having that stoppability is pretty awesome. I'm a bit of a late breaker as well.
/ daredevil. Okay, the 28mm tyres would help as well. The contact patch you'll have. Tons of riders riding out to the stage today. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a long way out here. We've ridden out here many years. Or for many years. It's a long ride home. So we're driving today halfway.
It's taken us years to ride.
So, yeah, you'll have a bigger contact patch on the road, so your braking's going to be a little bit better anyway.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you're sold on disc brakes. Now, did you know your tarmac is 4 years old around about now? I saw one of the Facebook memories of that you posted up, and you're like, oh, it's the first time I've ridden downhill. It's 2015.
Whoa.
So 4 years. Anyway, nostalgia aside, I think this is a very good reason for why people should test ride things properly, not just around the block, but you've actually got out to ride in decent hills and put the bikes under decent stress coming down those pretty gnarly descents.
Yeah, and like as you were saying with the contact patch of the fatter tyres, a little bit more relaxed geometry, having the disc brakes, probably a bit of the split seat post maybe as well. When I was fanging down Green Hill Road and the long kind of fast descents into town, because it's like a long downhill into town, you're hitting those ruts on the road and it's absorbed nicely, like way more nicely than the race bikes that I've been testing. But there's a different kind of bike again. So I think definitely for off-roading adventures and gravel kind of stuff, that this bike would be very suitable. Like you could definitely put on some even chunkier tyres with a bit more grip as well and take it out.
Yeah, there's a ton
more
of
than
clearance.
I would with a race bike.
Okay, so you could. So what you're saying is this bike's quite relaxed, but you could make it even more off-roady / compliant to shitty conditions and gravel and things like that.
Yeah.
Could you go the other way? Could you make it more racy?
Yeah, I reckon instead of the 28mm tyres, you could probably go a bit skinnier as well. So you could probably put 25s on those rims.
Okay. Be a lot of gappage around the frame, but still,
if you wanted to have a bit more like a road feel kind of setup. I don't know if you'd even bother swapping out the seat post or anything like that. You'd probably keep that the same.
Yep.
Yeah, but apart from that, I guess that's all you could really do to make it more racier.
Yeah, you couldn't really drop another stem on there because it's all integrated. What I was thinking is for a bike like that, you could almost flip the stem for a more relaxed ride. I mean, that's why I like modular setups at the front, so you can do certain things like that. Maybe, I was going to say you could even have a second set of handlebars there, but then you've got to swap levers and bar tape and all that sort of stuff over, so it can be a little difficult. That is, I guess, one of the limitations, but also maybe an upside if some people see it like that, to be able to swap wheels either way, either more dirt or more tarmac, or more in the middle as sort of it ships. Cool.
So I guess the leading question is Shimano DO2 or SRAM ETAP?
Ah, yes. Which group set? Because a lot of people have... Well, okay, let me qualify
I think
this.
you almost need to also do a test of an ETAP bike versus a DO2. Now that you've been riding DO2 for a while, I'd like to have your review.
I've had a bit of a tinker with ETAP on indoor trainers and things with bikes set up. The problem I have with ETAP at the moment, though, is because it's just about to head towards 12-speed. The 12-speed ETAP is out here on the Trek bikes. The Trek women's team have it. So you wouldn't invest in an 11-speed ETAP configuration at the moment unless it was dropped down to sub-DI2 pricing.
Ooh.
There we go. Because, and I was talking to a few people yesterday about that. They said, oh, do you have one? Have you ridden one? What do you think? I'm like, well, you know, it's sort of like, well, the new version's coming out soon. And that's the risk with this marketing side of things, where they announce new stuff and people go, oh, okay, well, I want the new stuff. When's it available? Not yet. Okay, so we'll hold off, or I don't know. Having said that, I've just gone and purchased an 11-speed Shimano bike. So, but I don't want to. That's not hopefully not going to be outdated for a while.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well,
So
what I noticed with the configuration setup, because I'm on mechanical Durace.
11-speed at the moment.
Yep, 11-speed.
Yep.
So using the levers. I'm sure everybody's already got DI2, but this is my learnings of it. Being able to sit on the hoods and you have access to the buttons from up top.
Yep.
Because the buttons kind of sit alongside the lever.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, and the buttons are different widths on the lever. So there's like a slim line button at the top and a fatter button And then when you're in the drops, you know, it's quite different. The way
Now
the
you're talking about the
feels.
Shimano configuration at the moment.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So that was good. I kept forgetting which way was up and which way was down. So that was actually hilarious. At one point, I'm going up the Eagle on the Hill freeway climb, and I've switched to the big ring. I'm like,
This ain't steep enough. I'm going to throw in the big dog. And whoever's on your wheels just going, holy shit, you're having a good day.
damn.
And that's when you keep it in the big dog and like, I meant that.
More riders.
Tons of riders riding out here.
Yeah, so that was an interesting learning experience. Not one that I did with ETAP. That was quite intuitive because it's a whole separate paddle for up and down the chainring.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, in, out. Yeah,
I've always thought
tap.
ETAP would be more suitable for women riders because it's smaller on the hands. Even I don't mind ETAP because the smaller hoods on the thing itself.
So, yeah, I mean, and the other thing to note was there was no delay in the gear changing.
On Shimano?
On Shimano.
Right.
Yes.
Did you find there was a delay on ETAP?
Yes, absolutely.
It was. I think it's change on release on ETAP.
I found it more like you hit the button 1 second passes and then the gear changes.
Oh, controversial.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just noting. We've raced down here. The when we had the. I remember dropping into this little town here. It's always funny when we're doing llama drives. I'm like, I've raced here before. We've raced. Yeah. Anyhow, remember that little town through there.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. So okay. So in that respect, Di2, ETAP. Which would you go right now? On the table. Grab and run. Quick. 5, 4, 3, 2, answer.
ETAP.
Oh!
Okay, I don't really know.
Okay.
I just had to say something. Yeah, I like the concept of ETAP, right? So in my mind, I would like to receive the ETAP and to put it onto my bike, and
concept.
I don't have to do any wiring. And it's something that I can do. I can own it.
Okay.
Like I like
Yes.
that concept.
Yes.
Being a hands-on kind of person myself.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Look, I understand. If you want to head that way, we can come to a compromise. The one thing we will have to agree on though
What?
is the disc rotor size on our wheel sets.
Well, yeah, you might have to upgrade.
Lights up. No, that's not going to happen. So discs, so wheels with 160 rotors aren't compatible, I wouldn't assume, with 140 rotors. So we can't need to change wheels. And the other day when my Hunt wheel, I needed to change the tubeless and I couldn't because it exploded everywhere and I couldn't get the tyre back on. I just grabbed your wheel and went out for a ride. Very handy. We've done that for a long time. When you went to 11 speed, I then went up to 11 speed. Your Shimano, I kept Shimano. So we can keep compatible like that. So if you're going ETAP 12 speed, I don't know, it's going to be a few problems.
We're going to have to keep it in the family, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's something to consider for anybody out there. If your husband and wife ride together or your kids.
Just compatibility
partners.
changeover.
Yeah, it's always
get
handy.
the team bikes together.
It's handy to have team bikes, absolutely, for compatibility issues and things like that. So you'd only have to carry, for example, if you had 160 rotors, we needed to carry a spare wheel, we have to carry 2 spare wheels now. So rather than just one, on the occasion, off chance we need to use a spare. Anyhow, we're down the rabbit hole. We're talking about the Canyon bike.
Yeah, we are. And I guess if we want to talk about it as an overall score, I would probably give this one about a...
Now,
I can't recall what I gave the other one, but I'd give it about a 7.
No, you gave it an 8. And
No,
somebody asked...
I'm giving this one a 7.
Okay.
For different reasons.
Sure.
Personally, I don't know what the actual fact is of it, but I felt like it was a heavy bike. So from that side, I would rate it down a bit, but I'd also rate it up on cost. So the actual components and bits and pieces around it, I thought seemed reasonable.
It wasn't $14,000.
No. So for it was between 6,000 and 7,000. I think
6
closer
or
to
9,900
6.
plus put all your components and stuff on
Yeah,
there.
other bits and pieces like your bottle cages and potentially a power meter. It doesn't come with a power meter, so there's a bit of a markdown as well in comparison to, say, your giant bike, which does for a similar
around
price
about
point.
the same price, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that's
Harsh marker, but fair.
Yeah, well, you have to look at the competition these days.
For sure. So,
So there's a couple of good points to think about, but it is a different style of bike as well. So I'm rating things differently for their own category.
And fair enough. Look, and somebody asked why you took off points for the S5. We didn't go into full detail because it's more about us as the customer coming along, rather than going into the full high carbon modulus, blah, blah, all this bullshit that you see in bike reviews that mean jack shit when you get on the bike itself. That's why I wanted to do these reviews, and this is why I'd like to put Von on the bikes to give us the reviews as well, because you are the customer. You are not a reviewer, though we give it a shot. And we have
I'll give you my opinion.
Well, this is exactly right. So it's really handy to hear, and I've really enjoyed hearing your take on things and what's important to you. For example, the S5, it was black. I totally skipped over the fact that it was that colour.
Yeah, I love also the colour of this Endurace.
Wasn't quite blue.
It was like that kind of aqua teal colour. It's very hot right now.
Minty.
But on the same point in time, that is a nightmare to keep clean. Oh my God. It's those light colours on bikes.
Yeah, you've had a white bike before too, haven't you?
Oh my God, no. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So 7 out of 10 for this bike.
Yep.
But given that it's not a race bike that you've come from, and I guess the reason why you've given it 7, so on the positive side, a glass half full plus a little bit, is because it's, I guess, flexible to do gravel or a bit of race.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It would be great for fondos and bits and pieces like that. I could definitely see it being useful for that.
Yeah, something like the Strada Nero,
or
something like that with a bit of gravel on it. You'd be pretty confident putting some 28s on there and just getting it done. Cool.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of if I wanted to compare to something more to the tarmac side, I'd like to try either the Canyon Aero or the Ultimate. So I thought the Ultimate would probably be the good compromise between something that's a little bit more relaxed, like the Endurace, and the Aero, which has more of an enclosed, aerodynamic frame at the back, which I don't think I don't know, but I don't think you would be able to get as wide a tire widths and stuff like that to be a little bit more flexible with a bike.
Right.
So I'm thinking that, the Ultimate could be a good test ride next.
Excellent. Okay, but you're also sold on disc brakes with hydros.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely go hydro disc brakes.
Well, that in itself has been worth your time of reviewing these two bikes or test riding these two bikes in real world conditions. So, okay, awesome stuff. So do we have to wait till next tour down under to grab the other two? So we'll be back in 2020 and 2021 to review these other two Canyon bikes.
Because there are no test facilities for Canyons.
Do Rafa have them out of Melbourne?
If you remember, yes.
Okay, cool. Might be something we can look into in the near future. Rock and roll. So we haven't made a purchase as yet, but you are a lot more informed. I like it.
Yeah. I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to try them out.
That's cool. And hopefully, sorry for the long discussions on these bikes, but I think it's important for us to, this is our discussions that we have on bikes when we're going to make a big purchase and what they're about. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one as well as the other one, and Von's take on things as a general consumer, looking for her next bike, going for a significant upgrade for both disc brakes with hydros and electronic group sets. Which one do you go? Which one works best? And what was Von's real world experience? So there we have it. As we pull into almost the start of the stage here.
Coming into the beach.
I think we're on course. They actually do race this part.
Cool.
Anyhow, back to the race. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Let us know your comments below. Let us know what we should be looking out for in bikes and new bikes. Any tips or tricks in grabbing a new bike and what you've found to be, good, bad, anything like that, which can help us out as well.
Because, things to check and test on as well.
Yeah, because we are just the general consumer out there looking for the best that we can buy and sharing that experience. Thanks, Von. I'm looking forward to the next one. Let's go ride bikes.
Let's go ride bikes. Bye.